People think billionaires have it easy these days. They see the cars, they see the islands, they see the rockets shaped like, you know what. But nobody stops to ask, are you okay? Remember what happened to Jeff Bezos and his super yacht, folks? This is a story of oppression. Jeff commissioned a boat, the Y721, a modest 470-foot schooner, a sailing yacht, eco-friendly basically, and he tried to get it out of the shipyard in the Netherlands, but there was an obstacle, a bridge. The Koningshaven Bridge, which was a historic landmark. Sure, it survived World War II after all. But did it survive Jeff? Actually, yes it did, and that's the tragedy here. Jeff asked politely for the city of Rotterdam to dismantle this historic bridge so his boat could pass. He offered to pay for it, and the people of Rotterdam, they didn't throw a parade in celebration. They didn't say, thank you, Jeff, for your large boat. They threatened to throw eggs at it. Throwing eggs at a $500 million vessel. That's awful. And can you imagine the humiliation? His yacht towed in the middle of the night at 3 p.m.? That's how he had to solve it. Like a thief in the night without, mast attach, taking a longer route just to avoid the angry Dutch people who were going to throw cartons of eggs. He had to sneak his own boat out of a back door in Europe. If that isn't a cry for help, I don't know what is. But see, this is exactly why we're talking about this today. It's what I want to talk about, the silent suffering, a condition known as high resource anxiety. Just because you have infinite money, you don't have fewer problems. You have weirder problems that the human brain was not designed to process. I mean, these poor billionaires. Let's talk about the ocean again for a second, because the trauma doesn't stop at the bridge. There's a psychological condition known as anchorage displacement. See, you're on your yacht again. You're in Monaco, for example. The sun is setting, you're drinking a nice vintage rose, and then a bigger boat parks next to you. Suddenly your 300-foot yacht is dingy, it's trashy.
Oh no.
Crew members report that owners were literally demand to pull up the anchor and move the boat immediately because they can't handle the displacement envy. They have to flee the harbor because their ego has been bruised by 20 extra feet of aluminum. That hurts. And the food? You think, they eat well? Think again. There was a story about a guest on a super yacht in Italy who demanded a melon, but not an Italian melon. See, that would be too easy. They wanted a Hokkaido melon from Japan. The crew literally spent 6 days on this. 6 days. Emails, phone calls, tenders, a helicopter flight. They mobilized a global supply chain to get this fruit to the boat. It's that important for the billionaire. And do you know what the guests did when it arrived? They stared at it. They didn't touch it. They just looked at it. Because it's not about the melon, guys. It's about the crushing weight of having every whim fulfilled until you feel nothing. It's just a void. But the ocean is nothing compared to the sky, guys. You think flying a private jet is cool? It's a nightmare of logistics. When you're specking out your global 7500, you have to make a choice. A Sophie's choice. Do you want a gym or do you want a lounge? I'm being serious. This is a binary choice that keeps billionaires awake at night. You want the lounge because you want to host a classy meal with engaging talks. And you want to look social, but you're terrified of deep vein thrombosis. You're terrified of getting blood clots because you sat for 4 hours doing nothing. So then you go for the gym, but here's the kicker. You can't just put a Pelton on a plane. Turbulence is a real thing and turns a treadmill into a missile. It has to be bolted to the floor. Do you know what bolting a treadmill does to the feng shui of a hand-woven silk carpet? It ruins it. It destroys the aesthetic flow. And don't even get me started on these veranda porches that certain jets have. It's a feature for certain wide-body jets. It's basically a porch that folds out on the side of the plane. Sounds amazing, doesn't it? Except you can only use it when you're on the ground. Imagine the frustration. You own a jet, you own the sky, but your favorite feature is a porch that you can only use while parked on the ground, on the tarmac, in New Jersey. It's a prison of its own making. But it gets worse, guys. I was reading a report about a billionaire who was trying to show off his $100,000 home cinema to a camera crew, but he couldn't even turn the lights on because the system was stuck in an update loop. He had to do the interview in the dark. He tried to play it off like, oh, I prefer the mood lighting. No, you don't, Chad. You're helpless. You spent $100,000 to sit in a pitch black room because your light switch needs a firmware patch. See, this is the same thing with their bunkers now, guys. They're very stressful too. It's not just a hole in the ground anymore, it's a project area. It costs $20 million to buy in, and you have to decide, you know, do I want an indoor pool or an art gallery for the apocalypse? And get this, the pools in the bunkers, they have digital screens on the walls that simulate a gorgeous skyline. So when the world is burning around you, guess what? You can float in your underground chlorine tank and look at a few fake pictures of the city you used to own. It's like dystopian poetry. And then let's talk about the health kick, like from Brian Johnson, the blueprint guy. He's trying to live forever. He eats dinner at 11 a.m., he goes to bed at 8:30 p.m. alone, he takes 100 pills a day, and he even admitted recently that he injected a donor's fat into his face to look younger. He had such a bad allergic reaction to that, apparently his face blew up and he went blind. He couldn't even see. That poor guy. He was a swollen, blind billionaire stumbling around in his biohacked villa, unable to see his own biomarkers. Even the water is stressful, guys. If you're a billionaire, you can't just drink the tap water, you have to drink Philco jewelry water. It's $1,390 a bottle and comes with its own Swarovski crystals. I mean, imagine worrying if the crystals in your hydration vessel match with your decor of your room. I mean, that's awful. That's a mental load that you simply don't want to have to carry. So next time you see a billionaire, guys, next time you see one crying in a Maybach because, you know, the interior stitching is wrong and it conflicts with the beige, don't judge. Empathize. I mean, it's a hard life. They're pushing boulders of gold up a hill of expectations, guys. Only, you know, the boulder is made of almas caviar from the albino sturgeon and costing $25,000 a kilo. And they aren't even hungry. Will someone please think of the billionaires? Because if we don't, they might accidentally build a bridge they can't fit their boats under. And nobody wants to see that happen again.